Good day, sisters and brothers. Today is our Kwanzaa Sunday at the Hogard AME Zion Church, which is located in Jackson and St. Michael on the island of Barbados. Actually, today is the 27th of December 2020. And this being our first Kwanzaa event, I am using it to set the context within which Kwanzaa fits. Today offers us a different type of reflection after a difficult year for the Black community internationally. In support of this lecture, there are two videos. First is what is Kwanzaa and how it is celebrated, and the second is what is Kwanzaa. Both of these can be found on YouTube. So please feel free to search Google or YouTube and find those videos. What is Kwanzaa and how it is celebrated, and the second, what is Kwanzaa. The context within which Kwanzaa is celebrated, or was developed and is celebrated. 2020 presented people of African descent who live outside of Africa with two challenges. The first is the impact of the police killing of George Floyd and the internationalization of the Black Lives Matter movement, which has also had an impact here in Barbados. The second looks at the disproportional impact of COVID-19 on communities of color, be they in the United States of America or the United Kingdom and further afield. Both of these two international incidents point to what I call the vulnerability of the African diasporan communities. How do we remove this vulnerability that affects our lives as people of African descent? That state of vulnerability was really behind the creation of Kwanzaa. Please note, this is not about how other people can help us or save us. We need to do things that save ourselves, our children, our communities, our countries, and our continent. This is true of people of African descent, whether they live in the United States of America, the United Kingdom, India, South Korea, the Caribbean, or North and South America. We have got to be agents in our own salvation. The vulnerability that I speak about came into being when strong and great African empires and kingdoms like Mali and Ghana, Zimbabwe and Songhai entered into a period of decline just around the 14th and 15th century. At the same time when Western European nations were beginning to expand into new areas and began colonizing continents, of which the Americas, Africa, and Asia were part. This colonization process saw Western European nations taking control over the human and physical resources of these continents, and by military might, also controlling their financial resources. The impact of European colonization and imperialism on people of African descent and also people in Africa was that it divided, corrupted, and destroyed our systems of ethnic and cultural self-defense. Africa and Africa's ability to do for themselves became hampered. Everyone requires that their ethnic group or nation would be able to protect, provide, and prosper or bring prosperity to their own communities and nations. And Africa should not be an exception to this. Africa and Africans must develop their identity, culture, and sense of common purpose. However, at the root of why we find ourselves in this vulnerable situation is that we have been groomed and socialized to hate our Africanness, hate our association with Africa, hate our color, hate our ethnic groups. And so this has weakened the fabric of Africans to be self-sufficient and self-defending. In other words, until we are united in loving ourselves, we will remain the poorest people on this planet, even though we may occupy the richest continent on the planet. And it is for this reason that I, as a pastor here in Barbados, introduced to the members of the AME Zion Church and to others in Barbados the festival and celebration of Kwanzaa. Please note, Kwanzaa is not about the hatred of white people. It is not a hate white campaign. It is a love yourself African campaign. We note that in the Holy Bible it says, love your neighbor as you love yourselves. So we must ask, why do we hate ourselves so much? Why do we hate ourselves so much that we want to be like everyone else except who we are, Africans? There are a number of choices laid before us as a local church in terms of what we do with Kwanzaa. For some, it may be that we just listen to this lecture and then leave things alone, leave things as they are. Or there could be those who would say, let's hold a Kwanzaa event every year. But I'd like to suggest that there's a third option open to us, and that is that we prayerfully think about how we can apply these Kwanzaa principles in our strategic thinking as a church throughout the year. Kwanzaa helps us to recover, renew, and re-establish Africa and Africans as proactive agents in their development and prosperity among the nations of the world. God bless you.